What is going on, guys, and welcome to Bootstrap tutorial. And in this video we're going to talk about button groups and drop down menus and how we can actually combine the two. So over here I'm just going to create a div, and I'm going to say that it has a class, and the class is going to be a button group class over here like this. And obviously within this class I'm just going to create a couple of buttons. So I'm just going to say button, and it's going to be a type, and the type is going to be button. And the next thing that I would obviously add is class, and the class is going to be button, and button, let's say success, right? Something like this. And over here, I'm just going to write a button, I don't know, number 1. And over here, I'm just going to copy this. So let's say I have 3 of them right now. And over here, I'm just going to write button 2. And the next thing that I would write a button with a drop down menu. Something like this. So obviously in a small screen it's gonna go down, but over here you can see that right now they're all in line, and this one is with the drop down menu. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we would actually need to do is we would need to create another div with the button group, and we would need to place this button, which one we would want as a drop down, in that button group. So what I would do over here, I would just say a div, and div is going to have a class, and the class again is going to be button, and it's going to be button group class. And over here I would close it out, but I would need to place it within this div, right? So now you can see that I have 2 of them, and I'm just going to create more space so we can see that. I have first button group, which has the whole div, and over here I have this small div with another button group class. And now obviously we would need to add a couple of classes to this button so it would serve as a drop down. So the first thing class we would add is drop down toggle over here, and next we would need to add an attribute, and the attribute would be data toggle, something like this. And then over here we would say that data toggle should be equal to drop down. And what we can do over here, we can add a span element, and we can say that it should have a class, and the class is going to be array, something like this. And I'll just close it out, and now we can see that I have a button over here that has a drop down menu. However, I don't have the actual menu here, right? So I would go over here and just continue, and over here I would write a unordered list that has a class and drop down menu class, and obviously I could add a role attribute, and it's going to be menu. So over here, and now only thing that I would need to do is actually just create list items that would have a links within. So href over here and hashtag, and over here I would just say a link. Let's say, well, I could number them, or I can just leave them the way they are. So I'm just copy them, so I have 3 of them. So now you can see as I press it over here, I have my links. And if we remember, if we wanted to move all the way to the right, only thing we would need to do is drop down menu right. So now you can see how our whole thing moved right, if that's what we want. And we can obviously go over what kind of classes we could add here, like disabled, active, and all that. But I'm not going to do this in this video. So the next thing that I want to show you is how we can actually use a drop down button group and actually kind of split it. So have the button, but then we have technically 2 buttons, but one of them is going to be like a drop down menu. Anyway, enough of me talking, let me just show you. So I'm just going to create a couple of line breaks over here, and what I would do over here, again, I would create a div, and div is going to have a class. The class is going to be a button group class. Pretty self-explanatory since this is the video about it. And over here, what we're going to do is I'm just going to create a 1 button, and I'm going to say that this button is going to have a type, and the type is going to be button, and the class over here, for now I'm just going to say that this is going to be button info. And over here I'm going to say that this is going to be, I don't know, button, right? Something like this. Now you can see that it's messing a little bit with my view. So I'm just going to copy a couple of these so we have it all the way here. So now you can see that this is my button, right? But what I would want to add is actually like a small button here on the side, like a split button, all right? So what I would need to do, I would actually need to create another button over here like this, but I don't need to add another group. Okay, I'm just going to be doing it right here. So what I would need to do is actually create a button and create a type, and the button type should be not reset, but actually button, something like this. And then over here, class, for now I'm just going to create a different, just so we can see it differently. So it's going to be button and I don't know, danger, right? So over here, and I'm just going to leave this empty, and I'm going to write that this is going to be span, and span should have a class of a, over here, let's say it's going to be array, something like this. So now you see what I'm creating. And obviously if I'd go over here with the info, then they would be exactly the same, so that would probably make more sense. But this is how we can make a split button. And over here, obviously I would need to start adding the classes again, and it's going to be Dropdown toggle. And over here, what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple more attributes. So it's going to be a data toggle over here, and it's going to be equal to Dropdown. So that's that. And obviously, again, we would need to create a unordered list, and unordered list should have a class, and that class should have a drop-down menu over here like this. And let's say again, we're just gonna have a attribute role, and that role is gonna have a menu value. And let's say again, we're just gonna create a, in this case, 2 links. We're going to say list item, and over here it's going to be href, something like this. And over here we're just going to close it out, and I'm just going to say link again, and we're going to copy this. Okay, let's say 3 times. It doesn't really matter. So again, now if we press it, now you can see that I have my link, but I have this split button. So the difference over here, I didn't need to create a new group. I just left it in the same group. However, obviously we wouldn't be writing anything. We would just have some type of a icon or something in here in the split menu. This is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next video.